Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and today we're stepping into the shadows to uncover one of the Dominion's darkest terrors, Phobos, the legendary control mage of Hero Wars, Alliance. A hero who thrives on fear, domination, and energy manipulation, Phobos is designed to torment the strongest enemies, break their momentum, and turn their power against them. If you've ever faced him at full strength, you already know how dangerous he can be, but today, we're breaking it all down. His skills, his builds, his counters, and how to make the most of this mysterious Way of Eternity hero. Let's dive right in with his skills. Phobos' first skill, Paralysis, is as terrifying as its name suggests. He locks down the enemy with the highest magic attack stat for 6.6 seconds, stunning them, tormenting their body, and frightening enemies nearby. Those frightened enemies lose both physical and magic attack for a full 12 seconds. That's brutal control, Guardians, because not only does it stop the most dangerous magic attacker in their tracks, but it weakens the entire team's offensive output. While this skill is active, Phobos cannot attack or use other abilities, but he doesn't need to. The stun, debuff, and damage do the work for him. Add magic penetration into the mix, and Paralysis can become lethal. Heroes like Iris shine with him, because her damage skyrockets against debuffed enemies. Faceless is another perfect ally, stacking his debuff and magic penetration to multiply the pain. His second skill, Dreaded Shadow, targets that same highest magic attack enemy. Phobos sends a conjured shadow straight at them, dealing damage and cutting down their magic defense for 4 seconds. This is where the synergy really starts to unfold. Lowering magic defense is huge for team compositions focused on spell damage. It creates an opening for allies like Jorgen or Faceless to land their own devastating strikes, and it ensures that Phobos himself hits even harder with his follow-up skills. The third skill, Bonds of Darkness, is one of the most punishing mechanics in Hero Wars, Alliance. Phobos binds himself to the enemy with the highest magic attack for 10 whole seconds. And here's the kicker. Every single point of energy that target gains is transferred directly to Phobos. This is domination at its finest. The enemy is drained of their momentum, while Phobos fills up his own meter, ready to unleash even more control. Against fragile mage cores, this is devastating. The victim doesn't just lose their chance to act, they fuel the very hero that's destroying them. Finally, his fourth skill, Mage's Terror, enhances his first ability. Paralysis now not only stuns, frightens, and debuffs. It also burns energy. The amount drained is a staggering 1,500, which is enough to cripple any mage trying to build towards their ultimate. Combine this with magic penetration bonuses from allies like Orion, Iris, or Krista, and Paralysis becomes an instant kill setup against weaker or poorly protected enemies. This is why Phobos is so feared. He punishes the strongest magic attackers by turning their strengths into weaknesses. Now let's talk about how to build Phobos properly. He is a control hero, belonging to the Way of Eternity, and stands safely on the back line. But make no mistake, he is fragile, and if you don't build him right, he won't survive long enough to use his devastating kit. For rank items, focus on increasing his magic attack and health. The All-Seer, Diviner's Orb, and Tome of Fate are strong violet tier choices, while Sphere of Power, Light of Distant Stars, and Key of All Doors dominate the orange ranks. For most players, aiming for orange +3 or +4 is the sweet spot for mid-game stability. At that point, Phobos has enough power to execute his role effectively, while maintaining the durability he needs to survive those opening seconds. Moving to skins, Phobos currently has 6. The default intelligence skin, 2 magic attack skins, magic penetration, armor, and magic defense. Prioritization is clear. First, unlock his magic penetration skin. This ensures he bypasses enemy defenses and makes his debuffs lethal. Next, focus on his first magic attack skin, followed by the second, stacking as much raw spell damage as possible. Fourth comes his armor skin, providing some protection against physical attackers, which are often his greatest weakness. Then, the default intelligence skin for a balance of power and defense. Lastly, his magic defense skin, valuable in some matchups, but generally lower priority, since Phobos already resists spell damage naturally through his kit. If a future health or magic penetration skin is released, that should immediately jump to top priority. On glyphs, Phobos benefits most from survivability and offensive stats in balance. Start with health, to keep him alive long enough to cast his skills. Then armor, to shore up his vulnerability to physical damage. Next, magic attack, amplifying his main abilities. After that, intelligence for further scaling. Finally, magic defense useful, but his natural scaling means it can come last. Raise these glyphs to around level 40 for mid-game progression unless you're chasing skill class optimization. For artifacts, the order of importance is crucial. His book comes first, boosting magic attack and health, giving him both power and survival. Second is his ring, which raises his main stat of intelligence and scales nicely with all his skills. Last is his weapon, which provides team-wide magic defense. While helpful, this aura is less impactful compared to his raw offensive scaling. Gift of the Elements is simple, max it out. Focus on magic attack and health bonuses, ensuring he can both survive and dominate. As a fragile backline controller, these stats are critical. Talismans are the final piece of the build. Phobos' first talisman boosts intelligence and magic attack, while his second strengthens armor and health. Both are excellent. The first enhances his raw magical pressure, while the second shores up his survival. Even if you don't acquire both, Phobos remains viable with proper leveling. But of course, Guardians, no guide is complete without counters. Because even the strongest control mage has weaknesses. Cornelius is a nightmare for Phobos, smashing intelligence-based heroes with his devastating anti-mage mechanics. Corvus is another great counter. His altar reflects Phobos' damage, punishing him for every strike until he crumbles. Kark can also destroy him, since Phobos' low health makes him a prime target when Kark launches enemies into the air. Dew is another strong answer, resisting damage through rage, and his ability to hit backline enemies puts Phobos directly in his sights. Jorgen drains his energy, cutting him off from his biggest strength, his ability to dominate with energy manipulation. Rufus, the anti-magic wall, can absorb nearly all of Phobos' power and turn him into a non-factor. Cleaver's hook can pull him out of safety, throwing him into the front line where his fragility betrays him. Against these counters, Phobos is far less terrifying. So Guardians, here's the verdict. Phobos is a control mage like no other, punishing the strongest enemy casters, draining their energy, and turning their power into his weapon. Built correctly, he is a nightmare for mage-heavy lineups, forcing enemies to rethink their strategies. But played carelessly, he can crumble against physical threats or the right counters. What do you think about Phobos? Have you tested him in your own lineups, or faced him in the arena? Share your experiences in the comments, I'll be reading them all. And if this guide helped you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Olympus Alliance, and ring the bell so you never miss the latest breakdowns, guides, and strategies. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.